Hi class. Okay, so today we're going to look at two different ways that we are going to be able to analyze primary resources. We are going to go log on to Docs on the National Archives website, and you're going to pull up the Prequel to Independence activity. This is the first one we're going to look at. What this activity is requiring you to do is you're going to look at each one of these documents right here, and you're going to place them accordingly to the timeline leading up to the Revolutionary War in America. So before you get started, you're supposed to read down here. It's got the synopsis of the activity and just some notes about the activity. What I think is really cool is over here you have levels of thinking that is required to engage in the activity. You have also what kind of thinking you're doing for primary historical thinking and what era. So I think that's kind of cool that it kind of breaks it down for you, what levels of thinking you'll be doing, so you kind of know what you're getting into before you get started. Okay, so you're going to click on the activity right here, and it should open up. There we go. Okay. You'll start the activity. Again, this is just kind of an introductory paragraph showing you what you're going to be doing, and then you'll click start. And so before you even actually drag the document over, obviously you can't see what each document is, so you're going to have to source them. So you're going to look at each one individually, and again, you can look at it and just try to place it, but you kind of want a little bit more information. So you're going to go down here to where it says details, and it's going to say what the document is, and it's going to give you a description. You can also zoom in if you want to look at something more closely. All right, and you're going to do that for each one, and you make sure that you're looking at each one very carefully before making a decision of where it goes on the timeline. I mean, it gives you some of the information on each document. It varies. Some of it can be a nice long paragraph. Some of it can be just a couple sentences. Okay. So after you've kind of sourced each one and figured out, keep in mind too, while you're sourcing, that you're looking at the title, because that may be the only information you have to kind of determine where this will line up in all of these in this timeline. Also, there's a show hints feature. So if you click on a document, you could you could actually hold down right here, and it'll show you a hint, and you can try and figure out after the information that you've read on each document where it would go with the little hint in each one. And then once you're done, you'll click I'm done. Okay, so that is the first one. The second primary resource analysis tool is also on Docs, and it's called We the People. And again, kind of shows you what you're going to be doing, or what levels of thinking you'll be engaging here. And then you'll click on the activity. Same thing as before. There's a synopsis and some author's notes before logging on. And what you'll do gives you a small description of what the activity is you're going to be comparing and contrasting two documents. Very basic activity, not in the sense of what levels of thinking you'll be engaging in, but just the instructions themselves. So you'll click on each document, and what they are is they're two different versions of the Constitution. First one is a rough draft that George Washington drew up, and it's really hard to read. Because it's got it typed up, and it's got all the notes and scratching out, which is it's cool because it has all that authentic look. But it can be difficult to read for someone 200 and something years down the road. Again, you can zoom. Now again, because that writing is very fainted, you can't really read what's going on. It's still good to look at just for the sourcing purposes. Now, if you want the transcript, you can click right here. and it'll give you a transcript version. So that way you're not just reading the actual document as is, because it can be difficult to read. So, and then in the activity, it asks you the questions below, and you'll be able to answer those on a sheet of paper, comparing and contrasting them. Okay, so those are two ways that you can analyze primary resources. DocsTeach is a really good website to locate these kinds of activities, because they do really put a lot of thought into how you can engage with primary resources and what levels of thinking you can engage in.